If you're in the range of 65 to 80 and still able to do these 8 items, you're more than getting older. You're actually an exceptional gem, and your odds being able to live until 100 are much higher than you imagine. It's not just the luck of the draw or genes, but rather the small activities you perform daily without really understanding their importance. A lot of people believe that aging is the inevitable loss of strength, but this is far from the truth. There are people who remain strong, flexible, and mental sharpness that is far above what is expected. They are able to move, easily remain active, and have abilities that people of their age have trouble with. They are the ones who live longer, but live better. In this clip, we'll go through the 8 factors that make you stand out. If you're still able to do these, then you're in the right direction to live a long and healthier one. A few of them might be a surprise, but everyone can be a reliable measure of the longevity. Keep watching until the end, since the last one is something that few consider, but it is a significant factor in the length and quality of life, as well as how the quality of your life. Before we get started, if you're not subscribed already, I would suggest that you sign up and then ring the alarm so that you won't miss any video. If you like the video, make sure you leave a comment in the box below. If you aren't happy with it, write 0 in your comments section to tell me about it so I can improve the video content for you. So let's begin. The first sign is that you can lift yourself up from a seat by using only your hands. One of the most obvious indicators of longevity doesn't depend on how quickly you move or how heavy you're able to lift. It's more straightforward. If you're able to get out of a chair and walk up and without the use of your hands to support, then that's an accurate sign of general physical fitness, balance, as well as muscle strength. In addition, it's one of the most reliable indicators of how long you'll be able to maintain your self-sufficiency. As we get older, muscles lose strength by itself. However, the amount loss we experience and the speed at which it occurs will depend on the ways we exercise our body. Being able to get in a chair by using solely the legs indicates that you have strong upper body muscles with a good balance and a solid core of stabilization. If you have to pull off using your hands or move forward to get up, it's an indication that the strength of your legs may be waning. Consider the last time you stood up from a sitting place. Was it easy, but did you also think you required an extra push? A lot of people aren't aware they're weaker until something insignificant like trying to stand up in a chair that is low or standing up from a chair is obvious. Consider someone like Harold, who was 77 years old. He always was active, however. One day, he realized that sitting up from his recliner was not as simple than it used to be. He was forced to lift himself by using his hands. Initially, he believed it was an inevitable something that happens with age, however. When his physician informed him the importance of leg strength as one of the most important factors in falling prevention, he made the decision to do a few simple exercises to build up that muscle. After a couple of months, it was easy to stand up once more, and most importantly, it was evident that he was stronger and more confident in his actions. The reason that this skill is important to a great extent is the fact that lower body strength is connected to balance and mobility. Legs that are weak can increase the chance of falling, and falls are among the most common cause of injuries and complications among elderly people. If you are able to rise from a chair without your hands, this indicates that your legs are robust enough to support you. Your balance is a good one, and your coordination well developed. These are the main indicators of long-term health. If you've realized that you require your hands to help push off, do not fret. Strength can be restored regardless of stage of life. Squats and other simple exercises such as sitting leg lifts and standing heel raises aid in restoring the strength of muscles required to keep this capability. What's important is to be consistent. Tiny efforts daily will yield big gains in long periods of time. When you next get up from your chair, take note of the way you perform it. If you are able to do it without difficulty, that's an indicator that you're more in health than you think. This may seem like a trivial thing to do that can be a huge indicator regarding your overall health. The second sign is that you are able to stroll at a fast speed without getting out of breath. One of the best measures of longevity isn't the distance you're able to walk, but also how fast you can. If you're in the range of 65 to 80 years old and still able to stroll at a fast speed without becoming exhausted, it's a unique group. It is thought that walking speed directly relates to life expectancy, and research have proven that those who walk at a high speed have longer and more healthy lives. It's not just about staying healthy, but also about your cardiovascular health, the function of your lungs, endurance of muscles, and general vitality. Walking with a steady and comfortable pace shows that your heart is healthy enough to efficiently pump blood, your lungs are pumping oxygen efficiently, and your muscles are able to continue moving. Consider how you move on your way to take the day. Are you walking with purpose, and do you notice you slowed down faster than you did before? Are you forced to take a moment to catch your breath after only a brief distance? Slower walking speeds could be among the first signs of decline in health. It is so gradual that most people do not even realize it. Take someone like William, 74. He has always been an active person, but the time came when he noticed that his walks took longer than they normally do. He initially thought it was a matter of being careful and observant. However, he realized an additional thing. His breathing became heavier after he had climbed the stairs. Then he made the decision to begin paying focus on his pace. He began to measure himself on small distances to ensure that he was able to maintain his steady speed without becoming exhausted. In time, he increased his endurance, gained confidence, and felt younger. Walking isn't only about getting from one location to the next, it's also a sign of your overall well-being. An energizing, steady rate of walking means that your cardiovascular system is functioning well as your muscles stay in good shape and your balance maintained. Physical benefits from walking aid in brain health by keeping mental sharp and decreasing the chance of cognitive decline. If you're unsure what you're doing, do this test that is easy by walking at a moderate rate for around 10 feet and then increase your pace as if we're trying to get through the elevator's door prior to it shuts. If you're able to walk at a comfortable pace without feeling out of breath, then that's a good indicator. However, if you're feeling sluggish or unsteady, it could be a good idea to improve the endurance of your body. There's a good thing. Getting your walk faster isn't a requirement for intense training. Regular walks with a focus on your posture, as well as making an effort to speed up your pace 1 or 2 times per day, will make a big change. Making even small changes to the speed of your walking could make a difference in your life for years. When you're next out for a walk, be aware of the speed at which you're walking. If you're moving in a steady pace and with confidence, it's a fantastic indication that your body is functioning well and you're getting ready for longevity and a healthy, long existence. If you're watching this video and find these tips useful, leave a second comment below in order to tell me you're there. Let's go on. 3 signs. You must be able to hold your balance with one foot for at minimum 10 minutes. Balance is among the issues that most people do not even think about until they are falling off. However, the ability of your body to maintain balance for even 1 second is an indication of how much your body's aging. If you're in the range of 65 to 80 years old and you can be on your feet for a minimum of 10 seconds with no wobbles and swaying, then you're in great condition. Research has proven the importance of balance to longevity, and people who keep it up to their twilight years typically lead longer, healthier lives. Balance isn't only about being able to avoid falls, it's also a signal that your nerve system, muscles and reflexes are working harmoniously. If you're standing on just the one leg, you're interacting with several systems within the body, including sense of vision, your inner ear, and proprioception. Your body's ability to perceive the position of its body within space. If any of these functions become deficient, the balance will be among the first aspects to be affected. Take a moment to think about your last time you put on a pair of socks while standing. Are you able to hold solid or did have to lean on something? Any slight shift in your balance could cause issues slowly, as many aren't aware of the fact that they're losing balance until they stumble, or even a falling can catch them out of their guard. Imagine, for instance, Frank at 76. Frank was always active. However, when he was getting dressed, he noticed that standing on one foot while putting on his pants was more difficult than prior to. He believed it was the result of a mistake. However, when he attempted standing on his feet for a while, it was difficult to even stay for a couple of seconds before falling over. It was a wake-up call. He began incorporating balance training within his routine. After a few months, he saw the difference in his performance in not only your stability, but also in confidence in moving about. Balance is among the best indicators of risk for falling, and it is well known that falling is among the main causes of injury and hospitalization for older adults. Your balance is more stable will lower the chance of having a serious accident. If you're curious as to the place you're standing, do this easy test. Stand next to a counter or on a solid surface that you can grasp when you're in need. Set your foot on the ground and then see how long you can maintain your balance for a period of 10 minutes. If you are able to do it without difficulty, then that's an amazing indication. If not, do not fret. You can improve your balance through simple workouts like standing heels and side leg lifts, as well as shifting weight from one foot to the next. You must practice every day to ensure your coordination stays sharp. Being balanced isn't simply being steady in your step. It's about ensuring your confidence for many long into the future. Your balance is more stable the more assuredly you'll be able to move around with no fear of falling off or losing your mobility. If you're waiting in the line at the supermarket department or even getting your teeth cleaned, try balancing on just your feet for several minutes. If you're able to accomplish it effortlessly, then take that as an affirmation that your body is working properly and you're well on the path to live a long, well-balanced existence. The sign for you is, can you lower yourself to the ground and come back up with no assistance? One of the most reliable indicators of longevity isn't merely about physical strength or endurance, but rather about the ability to move. If you're able to walk off the floor and then back up with no assistance, you have an enormous advantage. Over others, you're older. Your ability to do this is directly a result of your flexibility, muscle strength, coordination, as well as overall mobility. All of these contribute to keeping your independence even as you get older. Some older adults begin to avoid on the floor as they fear they will not be able to stand to their feet. When you cease doing certain exercises, the body loses the capability to perform the movements. In the ability to lower yourself, then lift yourself up, implies that your core, legs, and upper back are continuing to work in sync and becomes difficult after the age of 65. Consider the moment you dropped something onto the floor. Did you hesitate before reaching down to retrieve it? Did you feel at ease reaching the floor, or was it an effort? The smallest of moments can provide more information about how we move than we think. For instance, consider Joseph, age 78. Joseph never considered being on the ground when his grandchild was keen to play a game, sat down. He was reluctant and did not want to play, but because he wasn't certain how he'd be able to stand up. Then he realized it was time to develop the mobility of his body. He began to practice slower, controlled movements such as squatting, kneeling, and pulling himself up with the legs instead of using furniture. In time, he gained the ability to go into and out of the way effortlessly, and more crucially, he became comfortable in his moves. Being able to stand up from the ground without assistance is among the most reliable indicators of life expectancy. Studies have found that people who have difficulty with this task are more likely to suffer problems with mobility later in life. Why? Because it represents overall physical decline. It indicates weakness in muscles, decreased flexibility, as well as a decline in balance. However, the people who keep this capacity tend to stay flexible, self-sufficient, and strong. If you'd like to try it out, do this, sat in front of an upright chair to ensure safety, and then lower yourself to ground slowly and then see whether you are able to get on your feet without holding on to any object. If you are able to do it, then that's a great indicator that your joints and muscles are functioning properly. If you're struggling, do not be dismayed. It is possible to improve your mobility by everyday stretching exercises, strengthening as well as a series of controlled exercises which mimic the process of getting up from a seated, standing position. The ability to maintain this isn't only an issue of convenience but remaining independent. If you're ever required to lower yourself to reach things or tie your shoes or perhaps catch yourself after an accident, having the power and agility to bounce back could be the key to success. If you find yourself having to stay off the floor, think about this, whether it's because it's difficult to get back on your feet. If you're able to do this move without difficulty, then consider this to be an encouraging sign that your body's aging properly and you're in the right direction toward a long and healthy existence. If you're still viewing this video and find these information valuable, then please leave a comment below number 4 for me to know that why you're watching this video. We'll continue to explore. The 5th sign is that you are able to carry your entire grocery cart with ease without a struggle. It's not just concerned with lifting weights in the gym, it's dealing with everyday chores easily. If you're still able to carry your full shopping bag and not struggle, you're probably more fit as compared to many others who are your age. Being able to lift and transport things comfortably is an excellent measure of muscle strength, endurance, and functional fitness, all of which help to live a longer, more healthy life. A lot of people don't realize how crucial grip strength and upper body endurance are until they start declining. Moving food items, opening a container, or carrying a suitcase takes more than the strength of your arms. It requires the shoulders, back, and even your core. The results of studies have proven that the strength of your grip specifically is among the best indicators of long-term health. People with better grips are more likely to live healthier, longer lifespans, whereas those struggling with tasks of lifting are more likely to see declining mobility and well-being. Consider the last time you took grocery items into the house. Did you take the bags with no thought? Did you think you needed to stop and adjust the weight in order to not strain your back? Are you often needing help to carry items that were once easy? Small changes happen in such a way that the people who experience them do not even realize. They are obvious initially, especially for an individual like Richard who is 75. He always was proud in his independence, but the other day, after his routine grocery trip, he realized that he had difficulty carrying the groceries up the steps in front of him. It wasn't because the weight of the bags was higher than they normally are, the body just diminished the muscle strength that it once had. Then he took the choice to begin doing easy exercises for strength with a focus on his shoulders, arms, and grasp. In a matter of a few months, not only did he be able to carry the groceries with ease, however, he also observed that his energy levels increased and everyday activities became less tiresome. There's good news: the maintenance of strength isn't a requirement for extreme weightlifting or rigorous workouts. Simple tasks like squeeze an inflatable ball for improved grip strength, lifting lighter hand weights, or performing push-ups in front of the counter could go a long ways. It's all about consistency. A few minutes of exercise that is based on strength every day can help to maintain muscle mass and stopping unnecessary physical decline. Lifting groceries, carrying household objects, and keeping things in place without fear isn't about ease of use, it's about remaining in control. If your muscles are healthy and strong, you're less likely to be afflicted by fatigue, weakness, or even injuries. In addition, you'll be capable of performing your everyday tasks at your own pace with no anxiety. When you next take a bag of groceries out, be aware of the way it feels. If it's a bag you are able to carry without difficulty, think of this as a clear indication that your body's aging gracefully and you're well on your way for a healthy, long life. The sixth sign is that you are able to ascend a staircase without having to stop. It may seem like an easy task, and yet they're actually one of the most important assessments of your physical endurance in terms of heart health, lower fitness. If you're able to walk up an entire flight of stairs without taking a breather, you're far more efficient than the majority of people who are your age and are a good indicator of endurance to your advantage. To climb stairs, you must have a blend of strength and balance and endurance. Your legs require strength to propel you up. Your lungs and heart have to function efficiently in order to maintain oxygen flow, and your coordination must remain sharp to maintain your balance. When one of these systems begins to weaken, the stairs will become significantly more difficult. Recall the last time you walked through a set of steps. Did you feel sturdy and steady? Or did you feel like stopping halfway?
Through feeling tired?
A lot of people do not realize that the strength is diminishing until they begin to avoid staircases altogether and opting to use an elevator or escalator instead. However, this can make the issue worse and leads to a further loss of muscle and diminished stamina with time. Consider someone like George, 73. George used to walk up the stairs with no thought, but over time the steps he took began to change by using the elevators frequently and staying clear of certain structures. There are stairs or moving slower. He wasn't thinking much about the idea until one day when he was required to walk up an unassuming flight of stairs to the house of a close friend and discovered that he was exhausted when he got to the summit. This was the wake-up alarm. He began to walk up the stairs as often as he could, beginning slowly and then gradually increasing his fitness. After a few weeks, he felt an improvement. The legs were stronger and his breathing was improved, and stairwells no longer felt as difficult. Being able to walk upstairs is an indicator on your health and fitness. Doctors frequently use stairs to assess your cardiovascular health. If you are able to climb the stairs without getting tired, then your lungs and heart are operating at their best and is an excellent indicator of health in the long run. If you're looking to test yourself, locate a step that has at least 10 steps. Walk up in a steady manner, then observe how you feel at highest point. If you're able to walk up without halting and feel not exhausted, it's an excellent indicator. If you're having trouble with it, there's something that you can work on. By taking the stairs more frequently and walking at a fast speed and performing simple exercises for strengthening your legs can aid in regaining the endurance required for preventing the stairs from becoming an issue. The ability to ascend steps isn't about just the strength of your body, but also maintaining your freedom. If you're still able to accomplish this without fear, that means your heart is healthy and your muscles are in good shape and your levels of energy are up. All indicators that you're in good shape for an extended, healthy, and long-lasting existence. If you're watching this video and find these tips useful, leave a comment below number 6 to inform me that you're there. Let's go towards number 7. You're able to recall your recent conversations or events with clarity. Physical health is an important aspect of longevity, but mental health is just as vital. If you're able to remember the latest conversations, recall names, and remain mentally alert in daily activities, then you are one of the most reliable indicators of living longevity and a happy, fulfilled life. The function of your brain and memory aren't only a reflection of your intelligence, they reflect the general condition of your brain circulation and nervous system. As you age, we are prone to moments of forgetfulness. For example, you might lose your keys or having trouble remembering an entire term. However, there's a huge distinction between small lapses of memory and a more noticeable decline in your cognitive abilities. If you're still able, have deep conversations or recall the latest events and maintain a tracker for everyday tasks with ease, you're probably in more fit than most individuals your age. Consider your day in the past. Are you having trouble to recall what you ate at breakfast? Or can you recall the details of the conversation that you had earlier? Do you have the ability to acquire new knowledge as well as solve problems and stay focused on complicated tasks? The small indicators you see can reveal something about the condition of the brain. Consider, for instance, Paul. At age 79, Paul noticed that while many of his friends were beginning to have problems with memories deteriorating, Paul had a sharp mind. He was able to recall the details of conversations that occurred weeks later and solve crosswords easily and keep current with the latest technology. What he did not realize was that his everyday habits of reading and socializing, as well as challenging his brain, were making his brain strong and robust. The brain functions like muscles. They require regular exercises to keep it healthy and in top shape. The people who read regularly or play strategy games develop new abilities and engage in engaging discussions tend to preserve their cognitive functions for more long-term than those who don't. Being active in social settings also is a major factor in the health of your brain. Insularity and a lack of involvement will accelerate the decline in cognitive capacity, as frequent interaction with friends and family or other community-based groups can aid in keeping the brain focused. If you're interested in testing your ability to think clearly, take a moment to think about what you ate at dinner the previous night, or practice memorizing a brief list of terms and then repetition within a couple of minutes. If it's easy to do, is a good indication that your brain functioning is strong. If you find it difficult, do not worry. There are many ways to maintain your brain's sharpness. Learning new techniques, reading as well as engaging in social interactions, as well as walking on a regular basis helps improve brain performance and reduce cognitive decline. Sharp memory isn't only about ease of use, it's also about the quality of your life. If your brain remains robust, it can keep making choices for yourself and engaging in deep conversations and living every moment of your life. If you're able to remember information quickly and remain focused, you've got one of the best indicators of long-term health. The eighth sign is that you wake up refreshed and prepared for your morning. One of the least known and powerful indicators of long-term health is your sleeping quality. If you're in the range of 65 to 80 and you still get refreshed and ready to begin your morning, you've got a significant advantage over others who are your age. A good night's sleep is among the most reliable indicators of well-being, and it affects every aspect of your health, from heart health and brain health, as well as your immune system and your energy levels. As we age, the patterns of sleep change. A lot of seniors have trouble falling to sleep, staying asleep, or getting up early and feeling exhausted throughout the day. If you're getting enough rest, meaning you get a good night's sleep and wake refreshed, and you feel energized throughout your daytime hours, that's a good indication your body's functioning properly and healing itself correctly during the night. Consider how you feel when you wake up each early morning. Are you feeling energized and ready for your day? Or do you feel tired or sluggish and feel like that you're tired? Most people think that poor sleeping habits are merely a result of getting older. However, this is incorrect. Though some sleep issues are normal, constantly experiencing fatigued wake-ups can be an indication of deeper problems with your health, such as poor blood circulation, imbalanced hormones, and even sleep apnea that is not diagnosed. Think of someone as Roger at 74. He utilized to fall asleep. Although he slept through the night without issue, as he grew older, he began waking up several times, becoming tired and requiring naps throughout the morning. He initially dismissed the issue off as a normal and inevitable part of getting older, but after making some minor adjustments like adhering to a set bedtime and limiting screen time prior to going to bed, and establishing an evening routine that was relaxing, it was apparent that he was sleeping more as well as waking up with more vitality and feeling better during the entire day. It's not just about being refreshed. It also has a significant role to play in healing cells that damage your brain, keeping it sharp as well as maintaining your immunity. The people who sleep well are more likely to be less at risk of stroke, heart disease, and cognitive decline. They also keep healthy weight and higher levels of energy and stability during the course of their day. If you're unsure if you're sleeping as well as you should be, just check yourself. Do you get up with no alarm? Do you sleep within 20 to 30 minutes after being asleep? Are you alert in the early morning? If you can answer these questions is yes, it's an excellent indication. However, if you have trouble getting sleeping, you shouldn't dismiss the issue. Simple lifestyle adjustments like cutting down on consumption of caffeine in the afternoon, ensuring the same bedtimes, as well as ensuring that your bedroom is dark and cool can be a huge difference. A healthy, well-rested body is robust body. If you're able to sleep soundly and wake up at ease, be clear and think, taking to the world confidently. If you're one of those who gets a good night's sleep, it's a strong signal that your body's performing at an optimal level and that you're in an excellent chance of having an extended, long-lasting life. Last thoughts. As we conclude this video, take a few moments to consider how many of these indicators apply to your life. If you're able to nod around and recognizing these strengths that you have, you're probably performing better than you think. Intentionally maintaining balance, strength, and endurance, as well as cognitive clarity, and a good night's sleeping well through your 60s, 70s, as well as beyond, isn't just an indicator of overall health, it's also a signal you're setting yourself up for an even longer and more secure life. Most people think that aging is synonymous with decline, but this isn't the complete picture. The body and the mind can be healthy and sharp through your later years, and these indications are proof of this. If you're still able to do those things, it's a sign that you're working your muscles efficiently, as well as your heart pumping and strong, your mind remains sharp, and the energy levels you have are supporting the demands of your day-to-day tasks. That's right, you're not just getting older, you're flourishing. Remember, even when you spot a few points where you might be able to make improvements, it's not too time to change your ways. It is possible to rebuild strength as well as endurance improved, as well as the balance and memory of your body can be improved. Simple, regular efforts will make a difference, and your body can be adept at adapting regardless of level of. It is important to remain in shape, be active, and continue to push yourself. What indicators do you see within yourself? We'd like to know from you, and we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment by sharing a lesson you have learned this morning and how you're planning to implement the knowledge into your own life. Your opinions are valuable to us, so don't be afraid to share your thoughts. Commenting on your feedback provides us with an immense amount of motivation and inspiration. If you've enjoyed the video and you found it useful, then please share, like, and subscribe and spread the word. We appreciate your support in producing quality content that will inform and encourage you. Thank you for your time, and we're looking for your participation on the next one.